Does it run?
Yeah, it works.
It works? Woo-hoo-hoo. Ooh, we got a hot one for you today on TFBTV. We are at Austria Arms with my good buddy Martin. You guys know Martin, he's been on the channel for years. We're here at Austria Arms, best gun shop in the entire world in my opinion, and they do fun shit like this. This is a Browning A5 semi-automatic shotgun, renowned as the first reliable semi-automatic shotgun ever made, designed by John Moses Browning in 1898, patented in 1900. They made it, God, for like almost a century, or about a century, and they made about 3 million of these shotguns, but not one of them looked like this, except for this one. First of all, Martin, why?
Because in a way it's quite interesting to see these Auto-5s floating around for very reasonable prices.
How much?
Less than 200.
Oh,
Yeah.
that cheap?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're not expensive. Most people don't want to have them, and they're
Yeah.
always used for hunting purposes and everything. And we recently got one in for not big money. And then we thought, why not chopping it off to the absolute smallest size possible. And as you might know, the Browning Auto-5 is out there for years, really quite old shotgun system, but you can actually really chop it down to that size and it might even work.
We always ask ourselves, is it possible that it will still run? And then we just got that back from a client, and my brother had the idea, let's try it out. Yeah.
And so what did you do to shorten it?
Well, he took a hacksaw and chopped the barrel. And
It looks pretty good. Like he did a pretty good job.
it does look okay. And then he did the same basically at the rear end, shortening the stock. You have a recoil spring,
The tube there,
which he also shortened with the stock, and then he clipped the spring, and then he was kind of closing this tube with a pin, so nothing too special actually. And then we went to the range and tried it out, and then we figured out that this is a hell of a fun gun.
Not bad.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of fun, and it's also quite reliable, as we discovered. In fact, one thing that I thought was interesting is that this is, and again, John Moses Browning, way ahead of his time. It has adjustable friction rings, which honestly, I don't know what those are. I just read that it has adjustable friction rings so you can adjust for gas. Now, we fired birdshot through it and it was mostly reliable, but then we fired slugs and it was 100%. So as it's tuned right now, and who knows, perhaps that could be a result of your brother's modification of the recoil spring, but right now it's favoring hotter ammo. And again, this saw a lot of conflict, World War I through Vietnam War and other skirmishes across the globe, because it was very reliable. It also has this trademark, what they call humpback design back here, which actually gives the gun a longer sight radius if you want it. It uses long action, what's called a long action operating system, which is cool. And it's funny, I've taken shotgun courses where I've been taught, and this is really, it works. Matt Hott, Ernest Langdon, I've shot with them, and we C-clamp our shotgun, just like we do with the AR-15. I'm like, son of a bitch, I feel this barrel moving. The barrel's moving, and I realized this uses a long action system where it actually has two springs. You've got the recoil spring in the back, which of course causes the bolt to return, but then you've got the barrel with a barrel return spring, and the barrel actually, and I can show you here, guys, I'm gonna have to put my hand on the barrel so you can see that the barrel actually has quite a bit of travel, and that makes it more reliable. I think it also reduces the recoil because you've got the, incredibly soft shooting. As we were showing on the range, I could hold it nearly up to my face and pull the trigger. If you do like a good push-pull, I mean, you see that? Like I hate to say I'm impressed. If anything, I'm really upset that you guys did this to the stock. You know, like if you would have cut it just right here or gotten a different stock for it. Do they make stocks for this still? Probably not, huh? I mean, that's really a lot better than I would anticipate. I mean, we're shooting here at about 6 yards, not very far, but it recoils very softly for a 12 gauge, a lot of power, and we've got decent accuracy even without a stock. Wow. We got any more rounds for this son of a bitch? I'd love for this to have a regular buttstock on it. You showed this to me. I almost didn't even want to shoot it. Not because, I mean, I would love to shoot this, but I'm like, what's the point? Like, why would we do this? Because this is totally useless. And I thought it was going to be totally unreliable the way that your brother kind of screwed with it. But we brought it out to the range. I went from thinking this was a novelty and a joke to thinking that this is a practical tool. What do you think, Martin?
Absolutely, and if there's someone who is looking for a reasonable price shotgun for whatever purposes, either home defense or just having fun at the range, this might be a cool thing to, you know, work on. And if you get this Cerakoted aus in this color, you could really tactical it up.
Oh, dude. Yeah. With slugs like we just ran, it's got enough oomph where it's running flawlessly and it feels fine even without a buttstock. I am absolutely in love with this thing. I thought it was a joke. Now, honestly, I would smuggle this thing back home up my butt if I had to, and trust me, I got room in there for a tugboat. Oh my God. Like, not only is this fun, but I'm like, shit. You know, we were decent with accuracy, even with just kind of point shooting with it. And if you put a buttstock on this, you tacticalized it, you know, you maybe threw an optic rail on it.
Why not? Yeah,
and the patent's expired on this thing. So I wonder if anyone out there, like a shotgun manufacturer, might want to like look at this and making a tactical version of it. It wouldn't be a terrible idea. What do you think about the A5 and your brother's conversion here, Martin?
I kind of like it, and I also like that it's a very old gun, and given the fact that this is an FN manufactured A5 means that this is a post-war production. This is very old, and it still works. Like, we used to shoot it at the range. It's amazing. And design-wise, I would really see this as a grandfather of a combat shotgun.
Oh, 100%.
One. And
100%.
Even nowadays, it would still be fine for that usage.
No doubt. Yeah, which is funny to me because, again, I realized that they stopped making these. And I know they did like a reintroduction or something. I'm not sure how similar it was. And as you mentioned, this was made by FN, so this is made in Belgium, but I think they moved manufacturing one time to Japan and maybe once to the US. Even these FN versions, though, the Belgian-made ones, which I would imagine would be more coveted, these are not very expensive in Europe, are they?
Not really. So you get them for quite decent prices. I mean, in Austria, it's also not that easy to buy it without any limitation, because in Austria you have limitations on your gun permit. Means 2 semi-automatic kind of weapons, either pistol or rifle, you can have, and then you have to extend your license and justify that. Means that not really a lot of people are into that kind of shotgun. And when they're going hunting, they're mostly taking double-barrel shotguns or modernized version of semi-automatic guns like Benellis or whatever's. No.
How much would this cost if it were its regular pre-chop configuration before you guys circumcised it?
Depending on the configuration and on the condition, a very good condition one can cost probably up to 500.
That's it?
If the bluing is still good. This is a bit used, and this was $200.
$200. It's a crime that I can't put this in my bag and take it back with me to the United States, because this is one of those videos that I have occasionally in TFBTV, and it's just what happened to me with the 1301, you know, the Beretta 1301 review that we did, where I say I'm not going to like this, I don't get the point, and then I go and I shoot it and I'm like, oh my God, this is incredible. So I love it when that happens.
That's cool.
And I love filming, Martin, with you and Austria Arms, and I love being in Austria, and I love you guys. So thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned. We're bringing you more from TFBTV.